Hey, hey, do you hear what they're talking about over there? What? Huh? What are you talking about? I don't know. It sounds kind of weird. Make me a little curious, though. We should go over there. You want to go over there? Yeah, come on, let's go over there. All right, okay, let's go over there.
Hello and welcome, friends, to another episode of Whispering at the Party with Team Neuvias. I'm Haleigh. We've got Murray, Margie, and Carol with us today. Welcome. Hey, y'all.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm so ready for Carol's tarot pull already. She's got her deck handy dandy like she always does. She's ready to set us off. So you guys, is this the last podcast of our 2024?
It is. It is.
We made it.
We have
Kind of exciting.
climaxed to the moment.
There it is. I love it. And Carol, what do we got for the big climax here for the pinnacle of our podcast for 2024?
We've got wands, the 8 of Wands.
You love an 8.
Yes. So basically, the wand symbolizes just relax, just throw your arrow, and wherever your arrow goes and lands, that's the direction you want to head into. Don't let anybody hold you down. Don't let any barriers distract you. Just go with the flow and continue moving forward. This is a very good card when you are lost and unsettled. So 8 of Wands, you're in the right direction. So keep pushing forward.
I love that. That's beautiful. What a great end of year theme to go with. Because we know it's going to be, again, Carol, you talked about it, a cycle ending year, 2025, right? So this is a good card for all of us to get, right? Rolling into the new year.
Yes, universal year. We're going into a 9 universal year, which is completion, change, and compassion. So remember the 3 C's that when we were moving forward.
Very good. Very good.
The 3 C's. Very important.
Very important. I love it. So here's the thing that I wanted to ask you all for this last podcast we have for 2024. Going into the new year, what are some of the maybe traditions or little entering the new year celebrations that you guys might do? One of the things that I learned from someone last night that they do is that they eat 12 grapes at midnight, 1 grape for each of the months. And it's kind of like a prosperity for the year thing. So like 1 grape for each of the 12 months. And so now I have to get grapes. So what other supplies do I need for the new year so I can follow all of your traditions? Who wants to start? I know Margie's got something.
I've been doing the same New Year's for the past 40 years. And it's summer sausage and crackers and cheese, and that's it. And then we watch the ball drop on TV in Manhattan, in New York, Times Square.
I love it. That's an excellent tradition.
Nice, quiet evening. Watching some people sing on television and people kissing the new year.
I love it. Is there any particular reason for that snack selection?
No, I don't think
so. That happens to be your favorite?
I don't do it often. I don't do it often, and that's so we keep it special.
I love it. Carol and Murray, do you have any particular traditions or New Year's things you do?
Ladies first, as always, Carol, please. Let's follow the direction.
I know the tradition is the black-eyed peas. They always say that you're supposed to eat the black-eyed peas because that's supposed to ring in the year for prosperity. I also have always heard that whatever you do on New Year's Eve is what you're going to do for the whole year continuing. So if you're out partying and having fun and dancing, you're going to be doing that for the whole year. So whatever you do that specific night is what you'll be doing for the rest of the year.
I love it. So you want to be dancing, you want to be having some tasty snacks and beverages, and maybe just counting cash or something like that, right?
Right.
There you go. Murray, how about you?
Yeah, just what you said, just squaring the books away is that old terminology. So for me and for my partner coming into the end of the year, it's really just a clean house opportunity for us in all aspects. A lot of people like to say they do the cleanup, but the excitement of Christmas and that rush into the new year, we don't get to it. And it ends up stacking up and following us into that new residual energy and all those new intentions. And that's where it gets a little bit weird. So our tradition is just cleaning up, giving away, donating anything that's not going to be with us in the new year. So sheets, pillowcases, old items and things like that. And just also taking that a bit further, writing down on a list of things that we don't want to be in the new year. So that way we can then be a bit like what Carol was saying and use that energy to, I guess, make that the theme of the year. So that we're constantly moving towards new and releasing what doesn't serve us. So that would be our tradition. Yeah. In Australia.
I love it. And do you like just get rid of all of the stuff, or is this like a donate the old stuff to as like, is there a tradition to that, or it just kind of depends on the year or the thing?
Well, it always was just sort of giving it away to, the local establishments that would take it in. We have quite a few of them around here. But in the last 3 years, it's been our neighbours. We have neighbours on either side of us who both inherited the country and came to visit and experience the journey here in Australia from Iraq and Sudan. So coming from less fortunate places, it's really given us an opportunity to give more in places that we have never really given. Being Australian, our culture is a little bit withheld, and we like to collect and hoarder everything that we earn or that we receive in our journey. So it's nice to just let go of those things and create all that big space again for all that new to come in the new year. Yeah.
I love it. It's good to get rid of the old energy and bring in the new. What other things might you suggest then for folks who are trying to bring in some of the new energy for the new year? What sort of practices for our team would we maybe things that we do for ourselves or that we do as a group, or things that we might suggest for folks who are looking to clear out some stagnant energy and just maybe, reset a little bit?
Well, COVID taught us a lot, but like most things, as we move forward, that impression can die off and become less pressing in its imprint. So my advice would be to revisit the energy of COVID, not for what it did to us, but what it allowed us to become. In that time, a lot of people stood still. That was a time for reflection and deep consideration on all fronts. So I invite anybody to take a walk along the beach, around your local park, and with your best pal, your dog, your friend, and embrace the now, the moment, because in that field is where you're going to find that deep wisdom that you need that will nourish you to move forward again and get rid of the things that aren't serving you. So that would be my advice at this point.
It's always a good idea to get outside and ground a little bit and be in nature. For those of us over here who are in winter, Margie, and maybe we can't quite go outside as comfortably, right? What are some suggestions that you have for those of us who might be indoor bound for just a hot couple of months?
It's a little challenging when it's 20 degrees or 5 degrees or I would still encourage people to get outside if they can. And even if you only do it for 5 minutes, it's good to get that fresh air. If you are it is 20 below zero, you're not going to be going outside though. So I would suggest just find a nice quiet spot and you can connect with Mother Earth, whether you're touching her or not. Hopefully you've got some plants in your house and they're talking to her all the time too. And so making sure that you make that connection and make it clear if you're doing a meditation and you're breathing up and down. I pull energy down into my crown chakra and up from my feet from the earth when I'm doing my breathing. So
I love that. That is a simple, like, little visualization and energy work practice for folks to do that's pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
Even if you can't go outside, just kind of even, doing a close your eyes, visualize being outside, being in nature, and just do that. Just feel that energy that goes down into earth and then feel the energy that comes back up from Mother Earth as well. I love it.
And if you're in a house that has grounded outlets, my house is very old, so my outlets are not grounded. But
I
if
love
you're in
it.
a house that has grounded outlets, there are things that you can plug into the ground and still be grounding yourself outside. So it's a little mat that you plug into the ground. I thought mine was right here. Plug it into the ground of your outlet and put your feet on it, and you're grounding, even though you're not
Oh,
outside.
They work
well,
perfectly. I have one here.
They work well, right?
Yeah, they work very well.
I love this. Well, we'll definitely have to share that in the comments for folks if we can find like a link to that so that people
Sure.
can go find those for themselves. I was not aware such things existed. That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty neat. They really will help you sleep too. They've actually got them. You can put them on your bed, and they'll help you sleep as well.
I love it. Grounding while I sleep. Now, if that's not spirituality made easy, I don't know what is. I love it.
It's a really good
Carol,
thing, especially if you're a computer, like on the computer all the time, to have it under your desk too. If you can do bare feet under your desk, so you're grounding the whole time you're being exposed to all the electronics. It helps process that energy.
oh, that's a really good tip and trick for, especially for those of us who are going to be, in front of the computer, hitting it hard, trying to put out the fun content for everybody because we know that you love it and we love to provide it for you.
Yep. And since my house doesn't have grounded outlets, I have a piece of rebar in the ground outside, and I just run a wire in for it.
So Marge is
I was
doing
wondering
some
why my
very
grounding
creative
outlets weren't
problem solving.
working. Is like they've got the 3 prongs, but the 3rd prong is not a ground. And I finally found that out because it's like, this isn't working. Let me try this. So that worked.
I love it. Ingenuity at its best, problem solving, good stuff. Carol, how about you? What are some ways that you continue to ground yourself and balance those energies as we're moving through and into the new year?
I personally don't want meditation music very loud. I just want to blow out in my area. I do know that your house spirits do love when you sage or even put in essential oils, spraying it out there. Your house spirits will love you for that. That's another way to kind of get grounded and start the energies flowing again, because you're kind of alleviating some ugly energy out to bring in some new energy. Those are the kind of simple things that I do. Even just doing like a hot tea, chamomile tea, or lavender rose tea. Those just help succeed anything, to be honest with you, when you're just like trying to regroup and refocus. So those are just simple things that I do. I know we have 76-degree weather here in Texas, so I just also go outside barefooted in December the 26th. So it's kind of nice right now. I don't
I was
understand.
going to say, it must be nice, Carol.
I know. So yeah, so that's kind of what I do. Just even in the cold, I will go outside and just try to grasp Mother Nature to her, because she's out there for us. So
Yep. And if you can't get to the grass, to the ground, because you need boots on, you could always go touch a tree, because their roots go way down.
You can always go touch a tree, but don't go lick frozen poles and things like
No,
that.
that hurts. Been there,
The
done
Christmas
that.
story has taught us anything. Don't do
Just don't
that.
want to create the clarity there. Yeah, don't want confusion, and we don't want you to lick a tree either. That's half frozen. So
No, I mean, you never know. That could go terribly wrong. And if you're going to try to lick a tree, people, you should always get consent first because it's just respectful, okay? That's what you want to do. All
I guess
right,
the last
Carol.
one I would just like to add,
Go ahead.
Haleigh, would be meditation for people who aren't new to it all and are looking for those ways to break in. All of these amazing things that we've mentioned here now in the last 10, 15 minutes are very supportive of that environment and becoming present with yourself. And at the end of the day, that is where you're going to find the most answers, the most clarity, the most wisdom, the most compassion and understanding is getting to that point of stillness and being present with yourself enough to sit in whatever position or lay, whatever works for you, and creating the environment to support you enough to feel safe enough to drop into that. That's where you're really going to find your new Christmas tradition?
Meditation is probably one of the better New Year's resolutions that we could all have, right? Like going to the gym, we all try for January, maybe a little bit into February, but guess what, y'all? If you need a buddy system for the meditation, we're here, Team Neuvias. Come hang out with us for a week and get into some good vibes. We'll have some nice meditative content we'll be making for you and some tarot inspiration for tarot. And Margie will have all kinds of fun little tidbits and moments of motivation and just nice little things to help us all get into spirituality a little bit more accessibly, which we do appreciate, Margie, that you put things into bite-sized pieces for us that might otherwise be very large meals for us to try to process and consume. And we're so excited for that. Carol, do you have a card for us so we can? Oh, she's already put in the card. She's like, I already have it. It's right here.
Yeah, I was going to add to that as we do enter the 2025 cycle. Be sure, and I'm going to tell you specifically, be sure that you're manifesting correctly, because what you manifest next year is going to come instantly. So be sure that you are putting out those good vibes and attracting what you truly want and desire, because the manifestation for 2025 is going to happen instantly. So,
well, that's the kind of attention span we all have, goldfish humans, that we've become in the technology world we're in, right? So thank you in advance for all the wonderful manifestations that instantly come to us in the universe. And we're so excited to share all of the prosperity and good things with all of our new friends who are coming to hang out with Neuvias in 2025.
Absolutely.
We've got the high priestess here. Intuition. It's, even though she's considered a feminine energy, which she is, it's saying also to tap into that feminine energy, even though you're a male. We do have we have the male and the female energy, so be sure that you're tapping in. Don't second guess yourself, because you have to be worry of constantly like, I need to do, or is this right for me? It is the first thing that comes to your mind is going to be the right answer. So just trust your intuition. That's always correct. You don't have to second guess it. So good card though.
Beautiful.
Card. Feminine.
I love that. That's a great card. Well, I mean, that is a great. We've talked about balance before, and maybe going into 2025, the ending of cycles, maybe the ending of concepts of imbalance within ourselves, right? We do all have masculine and feminine energy within us that we need to find balance in. So maybe that's a good way for us to sort of roll on out and into the new year. Let's maybe talk about some of the internal balance type things that we might engage in for ourselves to, I guess I would say, honor both of those sides of ourselves. So as females, for us, obviously honoring that masculine energy that is a part of us. And Murray, for you, being a masculine energy, honoring the feminine energies that you have. Thoughts, y'all? Who wants to start? This is one of our favorite topics. We love it.
Maybe we should talk a little bit about defining masculine and feminine energies. So to me, the feminine energy is more creative and it's birthing things, right? Mm-hmm. That's just the easy way for me to think about it. And the masculine energy is more about doing and getting things done. So there is a balance there. As women, we want to create it, but sometimes we kind of drop off at the creation part and say, okay, now who's going to do it? Right. And that's where your masculine has to come in and balance out to make things move forward. Do you have different definitions, guys, or more expansive definitions? Because mine are always so short.
Well, we need to start with those nice little tidbits. Again, Margie, we appreciate you because you help us at the kiddie end of the pool before we dive into all the, right? You can't just be diving into the deep stuff in the spiritual awakening right away, fam, because sometimes it makes you go a little bonker doodles. So we start in the shallow end. Now we'll go to like a little bit further in. What else we got? Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, I will second that. I agree with you, Marge, on that. That is a perception that I hold within myself towards the male masculine perceived energy and the female feminine energy. A little bit further than that, I see them as a continuity energy. That is what you're saying on both realms. And I see the feminine energy being of the spirit realm, which is the birthing of creation, bringing things from the place of the unseen. And we, as the masculine, all of us, energy pertaining to that, have this free will and ability to harness that and then anchor that into this 3D dimensional realm where we get to play with it and manipulate it, transmute it, and create things that we may want to experience or have. So I do agree with you. And there's two sides to that energy. I see the platonics of it here and the higher aspects of it and how they equally block together.
Yeah, no, I agree. You cannot have one without the other. And I know some people think I'm all feminine. Not really. You've still got you're in the middle. You've got your feminine and you've got your masculine. And so all that comes together. It's just like having a night and day. You know, you can't have rain without sun. So it's just a balance between it. It's just finding that balance with the masculine. Like I know as women, we can do so much like Marge said, creative stuff and a lot of birthing and new beginnings. But however, you still need that masculine because you need that strong, guidance for us, because there's some things that we can do as women and there's some things we cannot do as women. So that's where the men comes in and help us. So it's a give and take as well. So.
And it's also kind of, I think, to me, remembering that conventional gender norms don't necessarily equate to what masculine and feminine energy is, right? It's sort of, for me, I always bring back a little bit of the quantum physics, right? The masculine, feminine energies that you need to have a positive and a negative energy for a circuit to be complete, right? And so really what you're doing is just completing your energy circuit so that it all flows easily for you. And that's what being balanced and centered in both of those energies is, right? Not positive and negative in the sense of good and bad, positive and negative in the sense of, electromagnetism for those who might have a little bit like, right? There we go.
Yeah. And I guess just to add to that, the continuity of that to two words that I define for the masculine and feminine energy to withdraw it away from the sexualization not sexualization, but the lower energy frequencies that attach to that because they don't have that higher understanding yet to embody it. I use two words that really neutralize this that I learned a long time ago. And those words are the being and becoming. Being to me represents the feminine energy, as we've just discussed. And the becoming is that masculine energy that goes out, that forager, that seeker, that forward force of using that will to go forward to bring back and recreate what's needed. So I do agree with you there, Carol. There's a strength in the masculinity serving to the feminine, and then there's also that balance that the masculine need from that feminine to be able to serve correctly. So they cannot live without each other. But the two words that I do like are being and becoming, if anybody feels acquainted to those.
I was going to say, who wants to start first on that one? The being and becoming. You have to be in a good state of being if you want to become something better, right? So being present and focusing on what your state of being is, as well as what is my preferred state of being. Be aware of where I am, but also be aware of where I would prefer to reside. And if that's not where I am, again, looking for that center or looking for that preferred frequency or that preferred flavor of existence, if you will, right? What are some ways, so going into 2025 then, what are some of those ways or those resolutions people can use to really find their center, really listen to their intuition and trust that they are listening again to their higher self? Carol, I know you always say that first thing that comes to mind, don't overthink it, don't second guess it, right? So Marie, Margie, Carol, everyone, how do we not overthink things so that we can allow the good to just flow the way that it's meant to?
It takes practice. It takes practice. It's just to me, it's always about making sure that I am focused on the present. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. In the present, you can see what's really happening. You're not going to know what's going to happen tomorrow. You're not going to know what's going to happen in an hour. You don't know. In 5 minutes, it doesn't matter. What you are here now, and if you're listening to Source and you're listening to God and you're listening to your higher self, all the same thing, by the way, to me. then you don't have to worry about any of that other stuff. And you're going to move in the right direction as long as you're listening. Is when you start thinking and when you start second guessing as you're looking at the future. What's going to happen if, right?
Well said.
Try not to think about it.
Try not to,
and it's not, and if you think about trying not to think about something, then it's going to make you think about it. It's like trying to give up chocolate for Lent. It's nearly impossible if you think I'm giving up chocolate. So you have to think about, I want carrots. So I'll eat carrots instead.
Right. What's the thing that you replace it with so that you're on something else, on a different topic? Yeah.
I want to just hone in on that too. I know people try to always live in the past for whatever. I know there's always fear and still fear and things that you've done in your past that you cannot move. You have to let go of your past in order to move forward. There's just an automatic. That's just a give and take. There's no yes or no. That can be wrong. I guess should say. So you have to release that. You cannot change that. That's already been done, been there, done that. Don't want to do that anymore. So all you can do is now is just move forward, because the more you focus on your past, you cannot obtain into your future. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I do get that a lot with my readings, when people continue to live in their past thinking that they can change things, and it's just not going to happen.
And I would just love to add into that something that channeled through for me onto that, Carol, if that's okay.
Okay.
A lot of the times when we take into that new information and receive these readings and that, the best place we could be for ourselves in a state of acceptance. That state of acceptance is what pushes us, where you're saying, into that multi-directional compass that we're looking to embody. So acceptance is going to get you there, not that old fixated analytical, I need to figure this out, study this, break this down, and then judge and distrust myself further. That's not what it is. It's an acceptance of understanding what's coming to you, moving through you, and then moving past you. And if you can create that for yourself, it does become a lot easier to go from one experience to the other without the entanglement in between.
Yep, makes sense.
Yep.
Moving with
very
the
well
flow,
said, sir.
Very well said and channeled. Moving with the flow and receiving the good messages that come while you do. And that's how you channel those things, folks, is you be present in the moment, and you can hear those messages and then share them. And we can't wait to share more with all of our friends in 2025. Well, I'm just so glad that we have decided to join on this little venture, this Neuvias adventure that we've all decided to go along on. I can't wait to find out all the new friends that we're going to make, who are going to come along on this fun adventure with us. What closing remarks do you have for 2024, y'all? For those at home who are ready to come along and build a community of compassionate people with us.
Be tolerant, but be compassionate. That's what I say going into 2025.
Compassion and presence. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about being present to me.
Stay in the present to get presents.
Yep.
Yeah, 3. That was the third one. Presence is the key from this. My other 2 takeaways are, don't forget the 3 C's.
Yeah, that was great. Absolutely.
Yes.
And to remember that you are a physical being here having a experience. That is a journey, not a destination.
That's for sure.
Yes.
We're all spirit having a human experience. And we're so glad you all decided to sign up for this Earth class with us. We hope you'll enjoy next year's material. We can't wait to create it with you. Thanks so much for joining us, fam, wherever you are out there. And we will see you next week for more good vibes.
See you next year.
See you next year.
That's right. See you next year. Big love, everybody. Big love. Bye.
Big love from Neuvias.